Good evening. My name is Amanda Egan. I am the Director of Transportation and Climate with the Natural Resources Defense Council. I want to start off by asking you all a question tonight. And if you'll indulge me, I'm going to actually ask you to close your eyes because we're going to vote, and I don't want anybody influenced by their neighbors voting. So this is a picture of the Google autonomous car, the self-driving car. Have you seen that in the news like ever in the last couple of months? If you could all close your eyes, I'd like to ask who believes that the autonomous car, the self-driving car that's coming, is going to be beneficial for the environment. Just raise your hand just based on your gut. Leave them up. Okay, please, thank you, take them down. And who believes that the autonomous car might create more pollution, more congestion, and end up being detrimental for the environment? Okay, thank you. You can open your eyes and take your hands down. Okay, so a quick straw poll of the Battery Club. We have some autonomous vehicles believers in this room. We're going to come back to this poll. Our vision at the Natural Resources Defense Council is to create a seamless, integrated, equitable, affordable, and zero pollution transportation system. For too long, we've essentially had two transportation choices. You can own a car, which is 80% empty, sits parked 95% of the time, takes 18% of your household income. Or you can take public transportation, which is rather low cost, but it's fixed route, it's not demand responsive, it's not at all flexible. What we've seen over just the past couple of years is an explosion of mobility innovation rising up to meet all of these niches along the transportation spectrum and to create those transportation choices. And NRDC's proposal here is to partner with the cities of Los Angeles and San Francisco to move us away from a paradigm that's centered on ownership to truly embrace the sharing economy premise of access. That's really what we're talking about here, the concept of mobility as a service. But who will this new mobility future be for? Will it be inclusive? This is a photograph of the launch of a low-income electric vehicle car sharing pilot program in Los Angeles. This is bringing the cleanest vehicle technology to the most polluted neighborhoods that need to have these savings the very most. We're trying to create opportunities for low-income households to save money on transportation while giving them access to employment opportunities, healthcare, education, and other needs. And this is a program designed for the community, by the community. So we're ensuring that this brave new world of transportation is not just for the young and the wired. And increasingly, as we work to bring more solar and wind power online, we can power these electric vehicles with clean, renewable energy, helping to accelerate the resource revolution that we're all interested in here. Now, why is now the moment for this transition? Bill Ford has said that the changes coming to mobility in the next 10 years will be more dramatic than the transition at the turn of the last century from the horse to the automobile. What he's talking about is autonomous vehicles. So back to our poll in this room, the projections of the environmental impacts of autonomous vehicles range from about a 90% reduction in energy consumption and pollution if the cars are deployed in shared fleets like Lyft and Uber, and if they are electric. But the impacts go up to a 200% increase in energy consumption of autonomous vehicles if they're all owned, if they continue to be powered by dirty energy sources, and if people choose to move, let's say, farther away from their jobs and send empty vehicles circling through our urban areas. So we're at a critical moment in time to decide which future we want. Do we want to save 90% of energy? Do we want to see a 200% increase in driving and congestion? This is a critical moment. How will we scale these solutions? This is a very exciting time to be with you here today because the city of San Francisco just submitted its proposal today for the USDOT Smart City Challenge. U.S. Department of Transportation has partnered with Vulcan and Paul Allen to issue $50 million to one city in America, the most forward-thinking city who can show us the pathway to low-carbon transportation. 78 cities, you can see here, applied for the challenge. 7 were selected as finalists. San Francisco is one of the finalists, hope to win the competition here. And there is a ready-made network of places that are hungry for these new mobility solutions. If we can pilot them here in San Francisco, show what this all looks like, we can help to scale this up rapidly across the country. And there are major private sector providers coming online interested in helping out with this, in addition to the US government, who's invested in a very big way. So our goals are global. At the Paris Climate Summit last fall, it was made very, very clear that cities need to lead the way on climate change. What we do here in California matters. We are the laboratory, the test laboratory for the rest of the nation. Our climate laws have been scaled up other places. Our clean car laws have been turned into national standards. We need to create the model, leveraging all of this mobility sector innovation and all the private capital that's coming online with autonomous vehicles and all of this innovation to ensure we create a strong policy framework to achieve our climate goals and our equity goals to ensure that this new mobility future is truly accessible to all. Your investment can help to catalyze this transformation. Let's build this success story together right here in San Francisco. Thank you. Questions, please.
Yes, you mentioned that this would affect the taxi industry like Uber and Lyft, and as problematic as those companies are, they do provide jobs for people. How are you factoring in the loss of jobs around autonomous cars? Taxi drivers, truck drivers, delivery drivers.
It's a conversation that's coming up. We're very much in conversation with our colleagues at the Blue-Green Alliance, which we've been for a long time to push pro-labor and pro-environmental issues. And actually a conference called the Good Jobs, Green Jobs Conference coming up next week, where they're very, very interested in this subject of autonomous vehicles. So it's right at the beginning of the conversation, and there's not all that much to say just yet in terms of the labor impacts. Please. Right here in the back.
Sorry. Hi. So actually I was at the Smart City presentation with Secretary Fox. It's really exciting. But I'm curious as to the funding that San Francisco would get and how if we won, how that affects you, and if you didn't win, how that affects you and how it affects the money that you would get from this group.
Great. The partnership and all of the excitement and energy that has been generated by the Smart City Challenge, I believe, is not going to stop if San Francisco doesn't win. Of course we want to win, and we're going to put our very best foot forward in the application. But the United States Department of Transportation is very interested in ensuring that all 7 cities that are finalists, and then of course beyond, gain access to some resources. So beyond the Smart City Challenge, what they're starting to do now is look whether there are other pots of funding, maybe pots of funding that had been set aside for road widening or other uses that we know have no beneficial impact for the environment, and whether they can make some of those congestion-oriented pots available for some of these other cities. I believe it's such a dynamic, magnetic partnership that's been launched between the city, UC Berkeley, and I think there are 150 private companies in San Francisco that have come forward to additionally pledge $100 million in-kind donations, that this is going to go. Whether or not it's this challenge, this is going to be so dynamic and fundamental that something's going to move forward. Thank you.